I'm Judy Shaw for NYSE Floor Talk. Joining me today is Rodrigo Abreu. He is the CEO of OI. Rodrigo, it's so great to see you. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, Judy. It's a pleasure to be with you, and obviously a pleasure to talk about OI's situation as well.
Now, a quick note to our viewers. This interview is for informational purposes only. The NYSE doesn't recommend any investments or investment strategies. Now, Rodrigo, OI is going through a profound structural transformation. Tell me about this transformation and when do you expect it to be completed?
Well, as you know, Judy, the company has been through a very long process of judicial recovery after 2016. It was a long story, but enough to say that after 2017, when the plan got approved, we went through a series of transformation. And this transformation started with one, which was a transformation in governance. So at the end of 2018, the company had a completely new board, a completely new governance, a board that was 100% independent. And then by the middle of 2019, we announced a transformation plan that actually had several objectives going forward. And one of them was to end the judicial recovery process, which we are bound to do by the end of 2021. And in addition to that, this project, this whole transformation project, actually aimed at transforming the core focus of the company. We will focus our actions around our core asset, which is fiber, and we intend to transform OI in the largest infrastructure provider of telecoms in Brazil. But in addition to that, we were very ambitious in bringing together a model which we call structural separation, which aims at creating an infrastructure company on one side and a customer-centric focused company on the other side. And this, by the end of next year, will mean that not only the company will have gone out of the recovery process, but we'll have a sustainable path ahead of us. And in addition to that, being very aggressive in terms of market recovery and market gains on its core platform, which is the fiber platform. So we're well into this process. We have sold several assets as part of this journey. The plan has gotten us the approval to actually go ahead with two other very important transformations, which one is the sale of our mobile units, and the other is to bring an investor to our infrastructure unit. And we expect to complete both by the end of next year. And then our transformation process, at least this initial phase, which are the most significant transformations, is going to be complete.
Okay. Now, Rodrigo, you mentioned that you are focusing your activities on the fiber optic business. What will OI look like in the future, and what does this mean for the telecom market in Brazil?
Oh, as I mentioned, our structural transformation path, it looks at creating the two components of our business. And on the infrastructure side, we already have the largest infrastructure in Brazil. And so we believe it would be just natural to use that not only to provide services to our own operations, but to provide services to any player in Brazil. And this is what we call a neutral network. And by doing that, we would not only be expanding the reach of our existing fiber infrastructure to multiple places where it's still not today, and we'll be migrating Brazil's usage of high-speed broadband to a real fiber broadband and not necessarily just the old legacy technologies, and thus helping to what I call interiorize the infrastructure in Brazil to really bring opportunity to different places in Brazil to advance our integration of both economic and digital and social opportunities throughout the board. But on the other end, on the side of the client focus, on the customer-centric focused company here, we would be creating something which is beyond telecommunications. We are calling it the digital experiences company because it has as a basis all of the connectivity offers, starting with the fiber broadband, but it also goes all the way to providing content, to providing services, to providing security, to providing cloud solutions, to providing advice, marketplaces, selling of products. And this will transform the OI brand into a real consumer brand. We do have some examples globally in terms of this transformation path, but we really believe we can replace it here and create a significant company, both on the infrastructure side as well as on the customer side.
Okay, Rodrigo, tell me about the role of telcos in the digital world due to the pandemic, and how is Oi dealing with this new challenge?
Yeah, this is exactly at the center of our thesis. And our thesis is that in the future, a resilient, high quality fiber infrastructure is going to be at the center of anything and everything that both people and companies will do. And the pandemic probably was a way to accelerate this recognition. Without realizing, we were already at the forefront, at the center of whatever people do on an everyday basis. With the pandemic, this highlight of the importance of telecoms and the importance of infrastructure got accentuated. And people really started to pay attention. And they started to pay attention in a way that if you look at all of the challenges, if you're making an important video call from home, or if you're likewise, if you're on just on an entertainment streaming something, it makes a big difference to have a good quality infrastructure on your side versus one which is just so. And this for us accentuated the role of telecom players. And what we did initially was to really assure that we could maintain quality of service during this whole process. And then in addition to that, we seized the moment to help push forward some changes, even in regulatory terms, that allow the sector to be recognized as one of the true components of the future digital infrastructure that any country needs to advance. We can not only include people, we can generate opportunities, we can bridge the gap in areas which do not have access to many different services and opportunities today. And as such, the sector, I believe, got to the end of this, or will get to the end of this stronger. And in our case, being the largest infrastructure company in the country, we believe we will also get out of this much stronger than before.
And finally, Rodrigo, Oi has foreign investors in its portfolio. How would you describe the evolution of the company's shares in recent months, and what do you expect in 2021?
Well, this is a great question because when the company went into recovery back in 2016, obviously it was a very complex situation financially speaking. The company took a significant hit by that time. And even after the plan got approved at the beginning, the original plan got approved at the beginning of 2018, there were a significant number of questions about the future potential of the company, its ability to recover and to get out of this. But I believe that slowly, step by step, we were able to actually show everybody that the plan that we have is not only solid, but it's being executed. It's being executed in terms of everything we said we would be doing, we are doing, and we have delivered. And as such, not only the level of risk has been, in our view, going down, but we have been shifting our base of investors from a base of investors that originally were more focused around restructuring situations or special sits, now to create a more long-term share of investors and having a base which looks at just the fundamentals for the long term much more than in the past. Obviously, this got reflected into the price of the stock. We got at the core of the pandemics with all that panic and uncertainty that ended up happening. We got to 50 cents per share in Brazil, so almost double that in the US. But obviously, since then, our stock almost quadrupled, which is a good recognition. And we went back to levels which are much higher than the levels pre-pandemic. So we believe we're getting there slowly, but with very firm, very determined steps to get out of the recovery process. And we believe that the investors are now recognizing it and seeing the potential that the company has ahead of it.
Rodrigo, it's been great to talk with you. Thank you for joining me on NYSE Floor Talk.
Thank you, Judy. It's a pleasure to talk to you all, and I hope we can connect soon anytime.